at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium for the Comoros. They, of course, arrived a day before yesterday here in Gqeberha, known as PE, the Windy City, and they will know that well, it won't get any easier with all of the matches they will be facing, of course, and for
no need for the rope, yeah?
Zimbabwe. Cats. Not to pay it, but you have the money to pay it. So I don't know not to sort of pay. So I don't think but I didn't think that's why he laughed. Yeah. Next year. Yeah. I'm there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Comoros. And now, the national anthem of Zimbabwe.
best of the two.
Yes.
This is your match. I have a calf and slip calf. Choose or give me choose. Calf and slip calf. Oh, no, wait.
Muita Zaidin, go aí, Igor.
Fine like this.
And clear and take people, all people. Stand by coach, stand by camera 3, take 3. There's Zimbabwe, let's go, there's the coach Zimbabwe. Stand by, go there 4, go back 4. How long now? Stand by camera 4, take 4. Stand by Comoros on people, roll people and take people. Take it. And the next coach with me. Stand by camera 3. Check 3. Yeah, we are still there. We are here. Clear graphic. And let's go. Yeah. We are ready. We are ready, man. We are ready. No, we have time. Stand by single shot. Stand by camera 2. Take 2. Stand by camera 1. Stand by camera 3. Take 3. Stand by camera 1. Take 1. Nazo. You can go. Nice on 8. Staying on 1. Watching you 3. It's about to Mamela riding a guy. Stand by 3. Stand by 7. Take 7. Stand by 1. Check focus. Check 1. 7. Just check your focus. Stand by 2 on the far side. After this, coming your way 8. Stand by camera 3, take 3. Stand by rate, wipe and roll rate. Just 1. Okay, coming out on 2 and hold them and out on 2. Stand by 2, stand by camera 1. Take 1. Where is he now? Oh, we got someone. Oh. Get on 1. Come in your way 3. Stand by. Okay. Stand by 7. Take 7. Yes, waiting for the ball. Take 1. Stand by 3, take 3. Stand by 1, take 1. Stand by coach. And 5 and roll coach. Just 1. And stand by this. Hey, out on 1. There it is. Coming your way, 3, stand by 3. And take 3. On your 3. Take 1. Check that focus there, 3. Stand by 8. Stand by 3, check 3. On your 3, do you have it? Stand by red. Wipe and roll red. I'll take 1. And out of. Exasa will come to. Oh yeah, you can hear it. Coming your way, 3. Stand by camera 7. Take 7. Full focus. Yeah. Stand by 1. Take 1. Stand by 3. Take 3. On your 3. Back to 1. Stand by 2 on the far side. Okay, staying on 1. Stand by 2 with the goalkeeper. Take 2. Back to 1. Stand by 2. Take 2. On you 2. On you 2. Back to 1. On you 1. Coming your way 3. This 3 must wait for that to hit the cover that side. It's watching 2. Coming your way 3. Staying on 1.
Okay. Space on the far side. That's well cut out defensively then by Bakri. Operating in the left back position is the man in your picture just a moment ago, playing his tough football for Jabal Football Club. Amanda Jambe, man who's been there before, been here before in as far as the COSAFA Cup with the Comoros, leading the charges here, looking to improve upon the one win his side was able to get last year at the tournament, hoping for the knockout spot. Will be extremely tough with the unknown factor for many of these sides being Kenya, of course, the invitational team. Panda. If you are just joining us, 8 minutes in, it's certainly Zimbabwe that seem to have settled and established a rhythm nice and early in this match.
I think what works for Zimbabwe, Sizwe, is the 4-4-2 formation that makes them dominant, because in the middle they're more settled in terms of knocking the ball around. And you look at the opposition that's Comoros with their 3-5-2. It's not really working for them. And not working for them, there should be a reason, and the reason is Zimbabweans, when they come from the back, they just get joined by the midfielders up front, as is the case now.
Yep, nice flowing move from the Zimbabweans. It looked for just a moment, then breaking out from midfield. In the end, a good challenge to bring that attack to a halt from Comoros. The goalkeeper has been tested as yet inside the opening 9 minutes of this encounter.
Interesting to hear the coach of Comoros saying we're here for a win. Every day must be a winning day.
Well, mentioned they are an ever-improving nation, and the way they've gone about business in the World Cup qualifiers will have them having plenty of belief, of course, that they can shake things up. And what a story it would be for Comoros if they were to qualify from this group. Keep in mind the winners of each group qualify for a spot in the knockout stages, including the best second-place team. Solid challenge here on this near side, taking no prisoners.
That was a warning to say you're going to have a long day.
Well, they are looking to compete if that challenge is anything to go by. Abdul Omar, the men that came through that Italian challenge. One of a good few players in the starting lineup that plays the club football for Jabal, locally in the Comoros. To have one playing in France, another in Namibia. Well, they certainly are a side that's found a rhythm nice and early here. The Zimbabweans yet to really find a breakthrough. We yet to get a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity in this match. Set pieces will be here and a chance to see what they can do from a dead ball situation. Well, there they are. They're still coming in. The supporters here in the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. That's a good sign here, nice and early. We have already maybe tripled the numbers for this time yesterday afternoon here, Mark. So the Zimbabweans, I do suspect it is, that giving us a bit of an atmosphere to work with in these early stages.
The word has gone out that there's action somewhere instead of just hanging around and doing nothing. And they just thought, let's come and see Zimbabwe against Comoros. And I believe that it can be Zimbabwe, so I'll agree with you.
Early ball then, well defended with good numbers pressed forward here for Zimbabwe, hence they pick up the second ball. Good pressing, lovely pressing now, quick transition for the Comoros is what's needed. Foul then, an important one from a Zimbabwean point of view. Get a talking to from the referee here, but had to find a way to stem the momentum. Richard Hachiro.
That was a clean foul, not breaking a man's leg, not just disturbing the rhythm. And the referee cannot take out a yellow card for that.
Still give him a tongue lashing. Chiro amongst the two operating in the heart of midfield for the Zimbabweans. He, as well as Donald Mutati. Touch and numbers here, looking to get onto the front foot. That's a lovely pass. Great movement of the ball as well. Now there's a chance. Best moment for the Comoros then. Clean swing and a miss in a crucial area after some stunning work here on this right side. That'll get their confidence up.
In fact, there the captain Muriro was exposed because he was ball watching, not aware of what is happening over his shoulders. And that pass was played and whipped in, could have been in the back of the net.
Now, middle of the park here, Medusa. Movement out on the far side. Bit of space to boot as well. Yeah, they're very quick to get numbers behind the ball and take up their shape. Comoros here. Good vision. Decent touches here to keep it alive on the near side. Looking to take on the defender. Early cross dealt with by Comoros. This way gets interesting for them. How good are they on the counter-attack and transition when they do drop back? Here they are again with a pass looking to find the eye of the needle. Wasn't quite angled right, but there are slight signs that they could be a threat on that counter-attack.
They really look like a solid side when they're attacking. They know where the green shirt is and just try to find that space. And it's a matter of time before that pass is found, and then it will be in the back of the net.
Where Zimbabwe are concerned, it's more than safe to say they are amongst the heavy hitters of Southern African football when it comes to the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup, a nation that went for their first 3 tournaments without winning back in 97, 98 and 99, runners-up in 98, quarter-finalists in 99 as the shot is well high and wide of the mark. Won their first tournament in 2000. Won another 5 after that. This, the earlier movement, how's that angle in the pass? Great movement, so unlucky. They didn't get that connection they were looking for towards that near post for Chaucha.
Yeah, it's not even about missing the target. It's about the blindside run. You've got to always glance over your shoulders when you're a defender and then be the first to turn when that 1-2 is played.
Winners again in 2003, 2005, 2009, then won it twice in a row in 2017 and 2018 to the Zimbabweans. So in 2019, they were hoping to be the first side to win 3 in a row. No one has done it just yet in the COSAFA Cup. Zambia in a position where they're looking to be the first nation to win 3 in a row in this year's tournament, having won the last 2. And 2018 being the last time the Zimbabweans were victorious and ran the show in as far as Southern African football. Urmira. Again, happy to allow them to pass it around inside their own half. Comoros here, whilst they take their shape, defending their own half of the pitch. Good challenge. It looked a good challenge, maybe I should say. In the end, Kasim, who thought he was well on his way, then will have to bring the ball back.
That really hurts. He just went straight to his ankles. The referee was right, and he was right at the spot.
Good call by the Mozambican referee, Kelso Alvacao. Tuta, decent ball now, picking up the pieces on the edge of the box with the early shot on the half volley. Couldn't get over it, but some positivity from the Zimbabweans to build upon. Ben-Hura only had one thought in mind once that ball landed just outside of the box. There's club football for Ngezi Platinum Stars. Now, one back in the great area here. The Zimbabweans an important challenge. Bakri eventually conceding the throw-in, but he had to get it right then as he was at full stretch. Zimbabwe's having won it back where in good numbers going into the final third, and it looked a serious threat had they gotten through. Hativagoni operating alongside Murira in the heart of defense. Now approaching the opening 20. Anzimati here, yet to be tested, plays his club football for Metropole out in France. Things going according to plan on the defensive end here for Comoros, and they also had 1 or 2 bright moments offensively here, so very much in the battle. Comoros. Kasim kept the throw in on the near side.
I'm looking at this Comoros side when they attack, is when they hoof the ball forward. I can see that line that is protecting the defense just charging forward, and they just go as a unit, and that's what makes them so unpenetrable for the Zimbabweans. So you've got to break the wall before the wall.
Well, kept alive on that far side. Will be a Zim throw-in right on the halfway line. Udadi. PT of Highlanders. It's interesting when you look at the Zimbabwean last game back in 2021. Oh, how we've missed them, of course, in the Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup over the last few years. But in the last encounter, last goal scorer in the COSAFA Cup was Amini from the penalty spot against Senegal. In the game they lost 2-1. They also lost to Namibia the game before that with a 2-0 scoreline. So they have lost their last 2 matches in the Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup, hoping for a foul on the far side. The referee, no. The far side official in agreement with them. Good challenge, good spot to win it back. Still having numbers just outside of that box, getting in there right now. Good hard running on the far side. Superb work defensively.
Focusing on the ball and making sure that there's no cross whipped in. But also very, very energetic moment there. Just pressing to whip in across, and it wasn't to be. That's the pair.
Karim, it was doing the defending, wearing the number 5 jersey here. Spotted the danger. A little bit earlier, he is another that plays his club football in France. And the starting lineup is for Lapai Foot. Good ball here on this near side. Solid challenge once again then. And in the end, it's good enough to have forced the goal kick the way of Comoros. So we've seen good challenges on the left and right here where they are denying the Zimbabweans a chance to get the cross in. Appealing for a handball then was Tino Tendamege. "20 minutes gone by, no goals as yet." I think it's safe to say the best goal we've seen so far was scored by Tamito yesterday against the South Africans for the Mozambicans, a man who came in off the bench to make it 1-1. Lovely strike, glass cutter from outside of the box from some distance. Looking at Zimbabwe's record, mentioned that they had lost their last 2 encounters coming into this tournament. The last 2 encounters back in 2021. Drew the 2 before that. Drew another 2 before that. Their last win was back in 2029 when they beat Comoros, in fact, with the 2-0 scoreline. Or 2019, I beg your pardon, when they beat Comoros with the 2-0 scoreline. 6 matches for Zimbabwe in COSAFA Cup football since they won a match back in 2029. Scorers then, as mentioned earlier, Rusike and Beliat. Long time.
That's a long time. In fact, there were other issues in between, and the coach touched on that and how that affected the national team. Very difficult to work, not knowing whether you're coming or going.
Yep. Definite foul here on this near side. I'm not surprised to see Zimbabwe having the bulk of possession here with Ben-Hura able to get up and continue here. Zimbabwe having a set piece in what looks a promising position. No doubt that's a foul.
Clumsy one too. Could have been just guided because that ball was going to skate off as it bounces, and he wasn't even going to be anywhere near the crossing that ball.
5. Push forward here for Zim. Make that 6. There will be no pushing and shoving as Karim gets a talking to then, keeping an eye on Ben-Hura. That's good goalkeeping. Read that ball, was superbly positioned as well. Anzi Martin, quick with the release here. And there could be something on here for Comoros. And in the end, that's lovely work in defense in dealing with the threat. It was coming through, PT, with the most comfortable of pickups. Defensive work initially then from Murira.
Must be beautiful for the players to play under these conditions, because even in summer, it's just shaded throughout.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're expecting them to exert themselves, because then the sun can also be energy sapping for players.
Well, what we did see yesterday, even in the early kickoff at 3 o'clock, was a good pace to the game. Then it started to go off. Now Comoros hoping for a breakthrough, gets a flag instead for offside.
Love the new rule. Until you touch the ball, then the flag will go out. That can frustrate any player, because you put a lot of energy.
Near side official on the money though with that call against Saeed Afane. Near side official from Malawi. If you are just joining us, Tembo on the Mali.
That was risky. Very risky. Anything could have happened.
Very even game here. Besides Zimbabwe having the Paco ball position, very even game here. For Comoros, it will make for a good start here inside the opening 25. First period of half-time. Comfortable they look. So far, they've protected Anzimati extremely well. He has been exposed. They themselves, like Zimbabwe, struggling to find clear-cut openings. Had one good move that would have unsettled the Zimbabweans somewhat. Here they are, comfortable in the middle of the park here as they stroke it about, finding some space on the near side. Doesn't hold on at the first time of asking, does PT, but does at the second. For Comoros in the last game last year, mentioned, lost out to Malawi. Before that, lost out to Zambia. Beat Seychelles, so you have to go back 3 games for the last win in COSAFA Cup football. As we look back at finally picking up the injury. It was Hachiro that lunged in then with the ill-timed challenge. They're hoping that they are warming up towards celebration at the end of the afternoon. The Zimbabwean supporters, of course. We'll be hoping those celebrations are earned with a good show here in the 90 minutes and the first win in a long time in the Hollywood-based COSAFA Cup. Hoping the dry spell comes to an end here this afternoon. Nicely done. Still looking to push forward then. Mudadi losing out here on the near side. Here's Raidu. When you look up Comoros and look at the goal scorers in their history in the Hollywood-based COSAFA Cup, they've never had a hat-trick in this tournament. In fact, they played their first 4 matches without a win, and just 1 draw. They lost their first 3 drew 1 before they were eventual winners against the Seychelles back in 2009 in Bulawayo. Ali and Mugwini were their scorers. Speaking of scorers, a couple of players have scored 3 goals. They're top goal scorers in the history of the Hollywood-based COSAFA Cup, that being Changama as well as Yusuf. A couple of players on 2 goals, Bakar and Chambe. 5 players have scored a single goal for the Comoros at the COSAFA Cup. Over eager here is Chauja as the fouls Jalai. Jalai, one of the 2 men from Dynamos in that back 4 alongside the captain. So, approaching the half-hour mark here, we haven't had too much in the way of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. Nicely done then, the ball trying to get it behind the defences. A bit of confusion with the run, expecting the ball to be closer to goal than going out wide. Zimbabwe closes it down from the front then, winning it in a very good area still. Shot coming in from range, and Anzimata makes it look easy as he gets down well to his right. Meke it was who plays the tough football for Green Fuel with the strike. Hit it well positionally. Anzimata was at the right spot. So we have had half an hour's play here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. So Zim looking for their best chance of this game. Ball played in, way too close. Angled very much favouring Anzimata. Good movement here by Raidu. Afane. Looking on this near side towards Kasim. Having to battle in the air then, and not picking up the pieces here on this near side. Couldn't quite get his footing right. Trying to avoid the goal kick, so goal kick it is.
Kasim wanted to dribble past his opponent, but the other way is just to shield the ball, try to work your way in until the opponent nick it out for a corner, then you're at an advantage. I find both teams just really pushing, but when it comes to the final product, it's just not happening.
Well, the one nation Comoros has had joy against in the COSAFA Cup is the Seychelles. There's no other side they've thrashed more than the Seychelles. 3 times they've beaten them. In fact, they have joy against the island sides. Good ball and, well, good goalkeeping, Anzimata. Beaten the Seychelles on 3 occasions. Drawn with them once. They've never lost to the Seychelles. And the other nation they've beaten, only one other nation they've beaten in the COSAFA Cup, that's Mauritius, where they've beaten on 1 occasion. Likes of Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Zambia and Zimbabwe have all played them before and all beaten them when they've met Comoros.
So Comoros, just like Seychelles and Mauritius, all islanders.
Yep. Told you this time, coming deep to get involved and win it in the middle of the park. Udadi looking to go central in the end. It's a wayward ball picked up by Kasim initially. Now movement on that far side here as Comoros come forward and have the strike. Oh, he hit that with a lot of power, but just couldn't keep it on target. Yet another positive moment for Comoros, and it's Saeed Afane from Chapal whose shot goes wide.
Afane did well there. Just knew that he was onside and whacked it. Could have played it at least across the face of goal, but he whacked it so strong. There was a lot of gap on the opposite side. Make a keeper safe.
Well, PT did look to have that near post covered. Nice turn. Smoked the man. Naked. Trying to keep it moving here. We'll have to settle for the throw-in.
hear Coach Zim speaking in one of the Zimbabwean languages, which is very good because you can confuse your enemies by not, or opponents, let's call them that for now, by just speaking your language.
Enemy is safe, trust me. They are the enemy for today.
Because they're fighting for something.
Yeah.
So it's always so interesting that that's when they want to hear what you're saying from the bench, but they just cannot get it.
But that it was who was using his arms illegally then on Raiju. Reason why the Comoros got the foul. Then here's finding with the touch. So there's been better moments, I think it's safe to say, inside the final third here as we go into the last 10 of this first half. But better moments, one or two of them, for Comoros, where Zimbabwe haven't really had too much to speak of outside of having the bulk of the ball. They haven't hurt Comoros just yet.
Speaking of hurting, they were almost hurt on two occasions. The cross from the right that just sailed past the goal mouth, and then this shot from Afani. That could have hurt the Zimbabweans. So,
plenty of reason for Comoros fans watching on here to be happier. But the two sets of fans with the way things are faring. In fact, Comoros, with the way they're going on, beginning to keep the crowd quiet up on that far side. They were lively inside the opening 20 or so minutes. Getting quieter and quieter, maybe a bit more concerned here. And Zamati taking his time before keeping things moving with Omar. Well, did say side. Here to compete and win, and they've certainly had moments where they've caused discomfort.
Speaking of discomfort, the goalkeeper is going through that. That's the Zimbabwean goalkeeper, BTC.
Looks like the right knee is the problem here. There are still some distance from the half-time break here, so they'll have to do a good job on him. And he'll be allowed as much time as he needs, so are confident that he will be fine and able to continue by the look of things. As we look back at the moments that caused the discomfort.
That's when he was in the thick of things and trying to fist the ball away. That's how he's dragging that right foot, trying to get his balance, and then he felt the pain.
Gone quiet, or quieter, maybe I should say, out in the stands. The fans here looking to kickstart their rhythm, hoping their side will ignite some passion from them.
Would you be surprised that one or two cheaper United scouts are here?
No, I wouldn't be. And I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot more watching on from around Southern Africa and beyond, to be quite honest with you, Mafa. Now, free kick in a good area here. And a yellow card is looking as though it might be. First of the day. And it's Hativagoni of Bulawayo Chiefs that gets into the referee's book.
Yeah, he asked for it. He just lifted his foot. He meant to just make sure that his opponent is not going past.
Kasim, the man, fouled here. As the Mozambican referee shows the first card of the day. Now, one has to wonder, from this distance, enough space to get it up over that wall and get the tip, so BT has to be spot on with the number of men he wants in the wall and the organization of where the wall should stand here. It's a bit central, so could go either side of it.
Not only central, also an advantage because it's even a distance, so it can dip earlier.
Doesn't get the tip he's looking for, however. including the fact that BT seemed to be positioned well enough to come up with the save if it was necessary. Alsani getting no joy. Alfonsi Alsani plays his club football in Djibouti for Artasola. Now, is Joja. Zim quick to get numbers behind the ball here to deny Comoros forward movement. Space for Raidu. Couldn't get it in behind that defense. Not allowed to do so, maybe I should say. Going into the last 5 of a first half that's been very shy of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, cancelling each other out to both these sides so far.
I like that the way Afani ignored the ball when it was played to him. He knew he was offside and he walked very innocent for the referee to know that I'm not interfering with your game.
Bakri. Karim. There's Omar.
Overall impressions is a very balanced first half. I shouldn't even think that the game could have gone either way. The difference between the two sides, though, is that the Comoros side have always missed the goal-scoring opportunities, but the Zimbabweans have really been having a go at them. They didn't have or create too many scoring opportunities at all.
Well, there could be one coming up here. With the set piece going against Hativagoni, and he picked up the yellow card a little bit earlier. Frustrated at the referee's call, yet mindful not to say anything to the referee as he turned his back on him as he complained. Still gets a talking to from the Mozambican ref. Similar sort of position as the last one. Maybe slightly further back here. The wall this time, 3-man wall once again, organized by PC, does its job. Now, good work here in driving forward by Motati, space on the far side, men getting over the halfway line for the Zimbabweans as they drive forward. Defensively, Zamir is having none of it, however. Little shove on the back of Omar, who slid into a teammate then. Should be able to see out the half here, although he has continued to stay down. Well, towards the end of this first half, they've certainly found their voice for the Zimbabwean supporters. Gone quiet for about 10-15 minutes, but hoping to will their side into a good ending to this first half. The ball out to the far side, lovely first touch as well. Zimbabwe again find they're going tough in advancing forward beyond that halfway line. That's been the major problem or challenge, maybe I should say, for them. Yeah, challenge, a better word. Just trying to keep the momentum going towards that final third with flowing passing and movements. Joja losing out in a dangerous area here now. Zimbabwe looking for their best chance of this half, and well, they continue to win it back just outside of that box and looking for quick passing and movement to get in behind that defense. In the end, it's cleared then by Karim. Still found a teammate towards that halfway line, so here go the Comoros with Afani. Told you again. I'll sign it. Referee doing well to try and avoid the action as best he can. Then there was a legal challenge just in front of him as Atapera was brought to ground. Then as Amir. The American Diamonds man clearly fouled. Zim here going beyond the 45 minutes with a chance possibly to create late in this first half. There'll be 2 minutes added on to the half. Ruira, the captain, stands over this, looking to go for Golden. And he's missed that by mid-mile mount. Bit of frustration for the fans in this first 45 minutes. Joja. Kept moving then by Hilal. Zimati really does have a lovely range in his passing. The goalkeeper for Comoros on a few occasions he's gone for those long diagonal balls and has found the mark. There was another lovely pass. It's just put forward a moment to go. Well, time running out in the 2 minutes added on here. Chance to possibly create one more goal scoring opportunity for Comoros. Had the better goal added in that regard here in this first half. The flick on right up to the penalty spot, and Zimbabwe having enough numbers back to deal with it. That's although the last few touches of what's in the first half where there's no separating Comoros and Zimbabwe. Both goalkeepers very well protected, although it should be said Comoros, the men in green, have had the better go of it, creating 2 or 3 moments of nervousness from that Zimbabwean defense. While Zimbabwe have had plenty of the ball, they've struggled in creating clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. Reason for the men in green to all be positive as they make their way into the tunnel. Then Georgia, the captain, having plenty to say to his men, who, as it was made clear by their coach, Amada Tembe, came here looking to compete and pick up the 3 points. So, good contest it is between Comoros and Zimbabwe. At the end of the first 45 minutes, the scoreline, however, reads 0-0. Have a look at the numbers then. Goal attempts. Well, those could be deceiving somewhat when you look at those numbers. For Zimbabwe, yes, they have the 4 shots on target, but they were from some distance and no threat whatsoever to Anzimata, whilst the moments for Comoros going forward, although they haven't had anything on target, were more threatening and more menacing. And that's what they'll be looking for, better penetration than what Zimbabwe had, while Zimbabwe had the better go of it in as far as ball possession. Interesting, as we still are in search of our first win of the 2024 Hollywood Place COSAFA Cup. Will it be Comoros or Zimbabwe? We find out in another 45 minutes.
Patrick, good to see you. Looking at COSAFA Cup now, especially because you are from here, what does it do to the people of this area and your feeling about it?
Max, the only thing that I can say that makes me happy is that COSAFA brought this tournament here, especially in my province, because we don't have chances like this, and we don't have so many matches that we are getting, especially from the national team side of
things, because Chipa is the only team here.
Absolutely.
And then youngsters, the schools are closed, so this also can be an advantage for them.
Yes, it can be advantage because the schools, as you said, that they are closed. I think on Saturday's game they will turn up in big numbers because we will be having the game in our
township area.
Yes, at Isaac Wilson Stadium. So Saturday definitely is going to be packed. And the tickets are free. They have to get early there to the stadiums and get their tickets early so that they can be able to come and watch, especially our national team, South Africa.
Yeah, you're talking about national team. Your youngster is with the national team, the Diskanyisa. That also motivates them to say, the one Wasekaya can be part of this.
Yes, absolutely, Max, because some of them, they grew up playing with him, some they were schooling up with him, so it will be a motivation for them to see him playing in front of their home crowd, and it's gonna be it's the motivation on its own to them, because one day they will say, if he can play for the national team, I also can play for the national team.
Yeah, so impossible is nothing. Patrick, thanks very much for talking to us, and good to see you.
Welcome, Max. Thank you.
And I will be joined by Mark Fish. Fish, that's how you know him. Former Bafana, Orlando Pirates, Jomo Cosmos, and he's the man that was a bit of a problem. I'm joined by Mark Fish, former Bafana, Orlando Pirates, Jomo Cosmos defender, striker at some point. Mark, you saw the first half, Comoros against Zimbabwe. What do you make of that first half?
Good afternoon, Muff. Good to see you again. Certainly, it was a game that, you know, if we look at reflect to yesterday's games, where the teams that play their first game, they are very cagey. They don't want to lose the first game. So we've seen a bit of that. Yeah, the game was played in the middle of the third. Not many chances in the final third by both teams, Zimbabwe or Comoros. So very cagey game. And like I said, most of it's been played in the middle of the third. Not many strikes on target, I think, or strikes at all. I think we had one from Comoros and one from Zimbabwe that hit the target. So lots to play for in the second half.
Lots to play for in the second half, but you touched on a point that is so obvious that most teams in any tournament, locally and internationally, no one wants to lose the opening match, and from then on you'll see the valves opening.
No, definitely. I think that sometimes we don't know what's happened on the background, how teams have got together, how soon they've got together, how long they've had time to prepare, and so generally we will see in the second game and obviously the third game we'll see improvement, or teams combining a lot better, and hopefully seeing more action as well.
Yeah, and then there's normally what is called do not give it away too early and just manage the tournament.
No, 100%, Mafa.
I've seen teams winning 4-5-0 and then don't even go on to win it.
No, that's true. And this is a tournament where a lot of the players are playing for their country, and they want to come and play and make sure they make their country proud. And obviously coaches themselves coming here to perform. So again, as you said, the first game is always important to make sure that you don't lose it, so you have still a chance to continue, and then hopefully growing from there. So as I said, we're looking forward to a little bit more action in the second half.
Before I leave you, let's touch on the game itself. I thought the cross on the right-hand side for Comoros that just sailed past the goal mouth could have punished Zimbabwe. And also that strike from Afani that hit the side netting could have played it across the face of goal, maybe trying to target the inside of the net.
Well, Mafa, if he had you as a striking coach, maybe he would have done exactly that. But Afani has been their most exciting player. He's got a lot of energy. I remember him from last year. Again, he's the one that made the cross. You would have hoped that someone would have just side-footed the chance from the right in the back of the net. And again, like you said, on his left foot, he should have either played across or obviously make sure that the goalkeeper makes a save. But they have had the two better chances or excitement going forward.
Let me make you a coach for now. At halftime, what would you say to who? Either Comoros or Zimbabwe?
So again, I don't think there's much to panic about. Again, as we spoke about,
you're on the right track.
You're on the right track. It's no still. You haven't conceded. There hasn't no team has dominated the other team. So maybe one or two. When I say changes, going into after maybe 10, 15 minutes, if you want to go for the win, some teams might think this is their chance to get their first win in the group to hopefully stamp their authority. But I don't think any coaches will panic thus far. Again, when you look at Comoros, at halftime, the players are giving each other high fives, that they have gone through 45 minutes, not conceded. So you don't know where their mindset is, that they are happy that they haven't conceded and maybe think that maybe second half they can come out and cause it would be a surprise, but in the COSAFA tournament, not so much a surprise.
I love this game because it's a game of opinions. And in my opinion, I think that Zimbabwe, they don't know how to enter that last third, the box, compared to Comoros. And that could obviously be their downfall, because they now don't get more chances of putting maybe half a chance in the back of the net.
No, 100%, and that's why we only saw it was a strike from number 12 outside the 18-yard area, and that was the only strike on target, which we would want to expect a little bit more chances created by Zimbabwe. On the right-hand side, a couple of crosses come in, but again, both defensive have defended well enough. Not too many chances have been created, not too many clear-cut chances have been created. So again, half-time coaches will be happy, but hopefully, telling the teams that they can maybe do a little bit more and maybe go on to get the result, that's desired result, which would be 3 points in the opening game.
Just moving away from today's game, starting from yesterday, what did you make of the tournament so far, and which team in particular would you want to touch on?
So again, yesterday's the opening game, Botswana against Eswatini. A little bit of again, teams sussing each other out, and they'll not many Eswatini came back the second half, and a lot of opportunities, but no goals. That's why the goalkeeper was man of the match. And then the second game, South Africa came out. Again, listening behind the scenes, how they've got the team together, our old teammates, Midnight Express, Hellman, the team look excited. They came out and played some exciting football in the first half. Second half, I think Mozambique, they made a couple of really good changes by the coach, and they were a lot better the second half. Again, the score was 1-1, a draw. Again, showing that that group is still obviously wide open with both games being draws.
Mark, thanks very much, and it's been a pleasure being with you.
Mafa, thank you so much, and awesome seeing you again, Mafa.
That's Mark Fish, the former Orlando Pirates defender, the man that won the Champions League.
Well, no, the scoreline between Comoros and Zimbabwe as we look forward now to the second half. Nice to hear from Mark Fish, who of course is a COSAFA ambassador and attends a lot of the tournaments over the years, then giving some insight, speaking to Mafama Boyani, the two ex-teammates coming together in that half-time chat. Both sides now making their way out of the tunnel, Comoros as well as Zimbabwe. Few artists joining us and missed the first 45 minutes. Not much separating these two sides in that first half. Comoros maybe with 2 or 3 good moments in as far as penetration and creating nervousness in the Zimbabwean defense. The best from Zimbabwe was a shot from outside of the box that, well, came for a good, comfortable save from Anzimata. Other than that, Zimbabwe huffed and puffed and really couldn't break down the Comoros defense. Did have the bulk of the ball, the Zimbabweans, to get the second half underway, attacking the goal to the right of your picture. Comoros in the green will attack the left. Need be said, out on that far side, the Zimbabwean supporters have come out in good numbers. Looks as though those numbers are increasing going into the latter part of the afternoon. Zimbabwe will look to make the necessary adjustments in trying to get into that final third and create some openings here. Here's Joja, who had a good first half as a captain of Comoros. Yeah, Zimbabwe now with a chance to get some numbers into the box. The ball in isn't bad. The chance is good. The best they've had so far in this match. The diving header, well wide of the mark from Ben Hura. Good start to the second half from Zimbabwe. This is what they were lacking in the first half. Lovely cross and, well, good numbers in there as well, attacking the near post. Should have done better with that header. Unmarked them, completely unmarked. He had lost Karim, who was the closest defender to him, then had Ben Hura. So, good start to the second half for the men in yellow. Trailing arm, making contact with the opponent's face. Then judges the man that's down. Another yellow card it will be in this match. It's Tapera, the second man from Zimbabwe to go into the referee's book. One of 2 in the starting lineup that plays club football for Monica Diamond. So a real scare for Comoros in starting the second half. Here they are looking to return the favour. Oh, a little mistake then. Sees the Comoros finding a bit of space on their far side and getting themselves a corner. That's when it looked as though Zim were looking to play it out of the defensive areas. Then they had the error, the communication breakdown. Find themselves now defending numbers coming in green here, trying to, of course, invade the penalty area. Lovely work in avoiding the first defender. Couldn't do likewise with the second. The outing are looking for one of 6, make that 7 now in the box. The shot couldn't get through the cluster of players then between the ball and the goalkeeper.
one boy will be working from around here.
Into the park here, it's Zimbabwe looking to play way out of the half. In the end, the foul for the challenge on Mudadi. Dynamos, the most represented side in this Zimbabwean starting 11. No changes to either 11. Keep in mind here at the start of the second half. Best chance going the way of Zimbabwe. That's a good ball, and the early ball into the box here, and well, there's good numbers back for Comoros to deal with the threat from Zimbabwe. Can they win it back in a good area? No way forward for the time being. Are very responsible in taking up their defensive positions. Comoros also, they do put up a good hustle in the middle of the park to try and make life difficult for the Zimbabweans. That's a very good crossfield ball here. It's a foul, and is for the challenge from behind. Make it fouled in by Halsani. I'll be happy with the start of the second half here, beginning to put together some decent passing inside the opposition half of the field, which proved a little difficult moving towards that final third for Zimbabwe. Tonight.
That green double hole doesn't break. It just continues to be resolute.
One thing they are very good at and have been good at so far, maybe I should say in this match, is keeping their structure then in their half of the field. What we saw from the first half is when Zimbabwe was passing it around inside their own half, they have no problems. They try and shut them down going over that halfway line, which is the case now.
Well, most coaches will say let them knock it around as long as they don't hurt you.
Now, nice turn on the far side. Good cover defense from Karim then. And Zimbabwe doing a good job of keeping the pressure on. There's another impressive little turn and an equally impressive defensive play. Denying the cross from Meke. Chalai operating on that far side. Or rather, Zamir, I beg your pardon, for Comoros, responsible for giving away the throw-in. Near post flick on. Distance on the initial header clear, needed another helping touch. Now, what we have seen from Zim over the last 5 or so minutes is the ability to keep Comoros pinned back inside their own half here. They're doing that impressively as they win themselves another throw-in on the near side. Again, looking to push forward with the throw here. Wasn't it a shove? Referee and near side official don't believe that is the case, so it continues.
I'm not a fan of these bow and arrow passes unless if you're deep, you are a left back and you know that you've planned that there's a winger that will be sneaking out. But sometimes when it's floated, it looks so bad because obviously the opposition is going to intercept it, and already because the opposition is next to your teammate, he's not going to control it any decently.
You mean the teammate is going to struggle with the...
because you've got to knock it on the ground, you knock it through passages, and those are the channels that you want to play through. We've seen it yesterday, and I'm seeing it continuing today. Looks good, but not good enough.
On this near side, Jalai now. Starting to shrug off a couple of challenges. Space on the far side, good vision, good ball now. Numbers getting into the box, inviting the early cross, which didn't come. Again, everybody behind the ball from Comoros here. There's space for the ball over the top. It's a good one. But men there to deny the crossing ability now. Man plays, then the ball into the near post. Oh, it's a lovely chance. Beautifully brought home then by Zimbabwe. It's Tapera who sneaks in ahead of the defender. and caps off what's been a great start to the second half for Zimbabwe.
Well built and well constructed, and it was just on one side, and that flick was the most crucial moment, because then the defender of Comoros just went with the Zimbabwean player, and that ball was left for a teammate whipping across, and that is, for me, very, very intuitive. That is what I'm talking about. That's stopping it, and this moment is my moment. Just flipping it for a teammate to just whipping across. But what a cross that was. What a finish.
What a finish. What a finish. Outside of the foot, banging it into the top corner.
Nothing beats close-knit football. Once you're playing it long, as I said, becomes predictable. But that confused the opposition. They didn't know who was taking what on and where was this man going with the ball facing his own goals, only to find that he will just flip it, roll it with the stars.
Now, first man to score for Zimbabwe at the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup since Amini did so from the penalty spot in the 2-1 loss to Senegal back in 2021. It was right here in Gqeberha, by the way. Played 4 matches in Gqeberha without a win. 0-0 against Mozambique, 2-2 against Malawi, lost 2-0 to Namibia, and 2-1 to Senegal.
Zimbabwe gave us an answer. The only way to break that wall that we were talking about, the double wall, is to come from the wings.
Lovely cross, lovely wing play as well, and combination out on that far side. Much better display from Zimbabwe here, where they continue to keep Comoros pinned back. Well, the opening 10 minutes into their own half, they really have grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck. Whereas in the first half, they were mostly passing around the halfway line and just over that, and getting no penetration into the final third. Problem solved with the adjustments made during the halftime break. So it's a job well done to Jairo Zatapera, the Zimbabwean coach, with way he's not made any changes to the squad, just changed maybe 1 or 2 things tactically that have stood them in good stead here in the second half.
Sometimes at halftime, depending on the game, you don't have to change personnel. You've got to just change the mindset.
Yep.
And maybe the tactics.
So Tapera, the coach, makes the changes at halftime. Tapera, the player, scores and makes a change to the scoreline in the early stages of the second half. Can't make this stuff up. Too much in the middle of the park here. Picked up by Jauja. Kasim. Zamir. Jauja now popping up on that far side.
Now Zimbabwe must have a tactic. They should just continue overloading on that left-hand side. And when the Comoros thinks that the ball will be played from, will just come through that side, they should find someone sneaking in on the blind side.
Well, it was off his line. Was Anzimata. Shots giving him some work to do in getting back to his goal line and dealing with it.
He's way off his line again.
Already he's standing outside of his box, outside of your picture. Now, defensively, Jauja with just a 1 target to aim for inside the box, right? Who and want to keep it alive here. Comoros looking for a bit of space to pull the trigger. Zimbabwe were very good at getting numbers back. Easy this for BT. Tell you what, the Zimbabwean fans on the far side have been rewarded for having faith in the first half. Even when things weren't looking as though they were going their way, they continued to get behind the side, and they're seeing a much better display here in the second half. Important in this tough group with the mighty Zambia in it, with Kenya, the unknown factor, of course, in it as well. And they get off to a good start here against Comoros.
Good to see them hopping around, enjoying what they're seeing now. Zimbabwe being a goal up.
Again, it's the probe here. Comoros having numbers, plenty of them. All but one behind the ball. Keeping moving is Dati. Space on that far side once again to possibly isolate a defender to try and take him on. Shot from range. There's a trying one, even with the attention from the defender. Zamir keeping an eye on making life as tough as or as difficult as possible.
Good effort. Could have kept it low.
Approaching the hour mark here. I mentioned the importance of a good start here, not only for Comoros but for Zim as well. Comoros have Kenya next. Zim have, well, one for the ages. In the best two nations in the history of the Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup, that is Zambia, the two best nations on the record books, going against each other. That'll be at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium for the second round of matches. They are being harried in the middle of the park now. Comoros not quite as comfortable as they were in the first half in trying to move it around and outside of their own half. Zamir. Georgia.
I love these nicknames because if you want to make it worse, that encounter, you can say you can imagine warriors facing the copper bullets.
Yeah. A challenge. A time challenge to thwart the movement of Bakri on the overlap. Manuel Chalai keeping tabs on him. 1 hour football come and gone now. Now, a chance here for Comoros, something a little special to lack the power to cause some serious problems for PT. From Kasim, then he had to improvise and think quickly.
Good effort. At least knowing where the goals are, and on a 10, it's just that power, as you say, Sizwe. Maybe it's just a highlight. The best is yet to come.
Well, with the way things have fared here in the second half and the lack of box entries for Comoros and the dominance from Zim. Even in the middle of the park, they're just winning challenges, winning it. And they're keeping the pressure on the left and right. Lovely play here. And still getting the cross in. They really are keeping Comoros honest defensively. Again, they win it back in the great area here momentarily and waste little time in winning it back and keeping Comoros pinned into their own half. They're feeling now, Zimbabwe. Nicely done on the far side with a 1-2. Defender plays, byline and corner.
That's good to force a corner from a defender because the defender thought if I let it go, it may not go out. He might just chip it for a cross. But he had to commit. Glad that he didn't compete with him, but just got him to commit. Jumped it off.
Skins, the first defender, didn't make it. Needed the cover defense to deal with the run. It's certainly riding the wave now in Kabeja, Zimbabwe. Looking like the threat we expected them to be upon their return to the Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup. Just 4 in the box for this. Battle on the near post, won by the defender, Omar. Everything falling towards Zimbabwe, all the 50-50 balls, second balls here. Comoros hardly having a chance to string together 4 or 5 passes. They've done well in winning the early momentum and keeping that intensity up with the Zimbabweans.
What I like is that they've just changed everything in the second half, and the pace, and they winning the balls, the first and second balls, and they're using the width. You know, they're just playing a different game than going, as you were saying, playing in front of the green shirts, and then we're laughing at them.
Foul on Raidu here. Well, shot from a long way out. It tells you a story about how the momentum has switched in this match and how difficult it is now for Comoros to get anywhere near that final third. It was a hopeful attempt from Omar.
Speaking about a hopeful attempt from Omar, he went wide, whipped in a cross, couldn't be put in the back of the net. What happened there? Was it a flash in the pan? Is that not the strategy? Don't they have to use their width either?
The powerful run on the far side. That left wing is being joy here with Meke for the Zimbabweans. Now, one from range, and it brings the guts out of Anzimati. One from the other side of Kabeja. And, Ativakoni nearly getting one for the ages here. Just outside the center circle.
He saw the keeper of his line and he fancied his chance just over the line and thought, I'm going for him. Ativakoni, that was unfortunate. Ooh, with the tips of the fingers.
Well, the very best coming out of Anzimati then in conceding the corner.
They seem to have noticed that the keeper doesn't like his goal line. He hates his goal line.
Near post. Zimmer looking at serious threat here in the second half. They look the side most likely to score again. If you are just joining us after having scored here in the second half, they are the first side to make changes. However, Mudadi will be making way, operating in the heart of midfield. Is Tavenga on in his place. And the goal scorer Tapera will be making way. Scored an impressive goal. Did Tapera. Really was a joy to witness. On in his place, Mutimba Goya. Beg your pardon, Mutimba Nyoga, I should say. My apologies to him. Comoros will make their first change. Raidu will be the man making way here. That is the man to come on in his place. Nasruddin Idari. Approaching the last 20 minutes. Zimbabwe looking for the two-goal cushion here to make the last bit of this match a bit more comfortable. Good defending in by Mohamed Karim. Dealing with the new man on the field here. Mutimba Nyoga, the man closely watched. Well, for Zimbabwe. Last international match was right here between the borders of South Africa, of course, against the host nation, home nation, in a World Cup qualifier out in the Free State capital of Bloemfontein. The 3-1 scoreline in what was a rather exciting match with a couple of goals scored inside the first minute and a half. Skill from Maggie on the far side, bringing the crowd to life. Had a very good second half, Maggie. Also did play against Zimbabwe, or rather Lesotho, I beg your pardon, right here in South Africa, in Johannesburg to be exact, in a World Cup qualifier on the 7th of June. Zimbabwe lost out to Lesotho with a 2-0 scoreline. Remember, going into the Africa Cup of Nations, South Africa playing a friendly against Lesotho. Lesotho coming out and saying, look, don't take us lightly. And I think we're just another nation that you're playing that you won't show respect to, even in an international friendly. Now, then with the ball into the near post. Skill in keeping it alive. Lovely touches in keeping it alive. Corner. They're keeping the pressure on.
Didn't that touch remind you of Zwane, Temba Zwane's touches on the side of the foot? I love skill, especially when it's for purpose.
Yeah. Third corner coming up for the Zimbabweans. Swing into that near post again. Keeping Comoros honest.
That needs a left in swing. I'll tell you why, because he noticed. That is why he moved away from that. He noticed that it was too direct and not too comfortable in playing that cross.
Well, thrown it is actually.
Oh, so he went for a long throw.
Yeah. Still, they've got numbers in there. Couple, in fact, 3, hoping for the near post flick on. Comoros do a job of getting it clear. So the pressure's still on here. Still got numbers back defensively and are able to try and clear their lines. They won't get much of a rest as Zim look to bring it right back. Chalai. Didn't quite get it right there. They're trying to find Muti Banyora. The FC Platinum man on in the second half, as well as Tafenga. Now, Comoros will be making another change here. Tarek will be coming on. And it's Bakri that makes way. Plays his club football for Etoile de Mirancy out in the Comoros. The entire bench from this side in green playing the club football in Comoros. The players that play outside of the country all started the game. 4 of them out of the squad. Second ball belonging to Zimbabwe, which has pretty much been the theme of this second half. Now, tough to drive forward here for Troja. Got a space on this near side. The new man Tarek early with the ball in. Way too close to BT then. Had to deal with it. There was a man coming in from the blind side, hoping he'd have the handling error.
The new man Tarek thought the keeper was off his line, but also he wanted to float it to the far post.
Kalai. Under 20 minutes remaining. It's far from being done and dusted just yet, this encounter. Comoros, of course, in their World Cup qualifier had a beating of Chad with a 2-0 scoreline. Before that, they beat Madagascar 2-1. Also at the beating of Central African Republic, and beat Cape Verde as well, losing to Ghana and atop their group, which is the big surprise, I think, is safe to say, in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers thus far.
Talking of a big surprise, I was pleasantly surprised when I saw Comoros doing well in the AFCON.
Yeah, 3 wins, 1 draw out of their 4 matches in the World Cup qualifiers, ahead of Ghana, ahead of Madagascar, Mali, Central African Republic and Chad.
The warning signs were there.
Well, they again struggle to keep it moving here, and are able to do so here with a few touches inside the opposition half of the field of the nation of Comoros. Afsani amongst those involved. For Zimbabwe, they bottom of the qualifying group behind Rwanda, South Africa, Benin, Lesotho and Nigeria. Don't think many would ever envisioned Lesotho being ahead of Nigeria, or Nigeria not having won a match in 4. Well, Zimbabwe struggling in the fashion they are, but Rwanda certainly making things interesting along with South Africa right at the top, and Benin as well. Still a lot of football to be played here. We're no closer to knowing who will be the qualifying nations from the first round. Now, Tanai pushing forward. Nice turn. Referee in a good spot to make that call, then allowing play to continue. Good pressure from Zimbabwe right from the front, then forcing the errors and getting the reward as the throw-in inside the final third. Well, Alsani showing an injury to his hand to the referee to make a plea for a foul that wasn't called.
And the medico goes to the player that did not call for it.
Let's look back at the goal, Marfa. This is one we enjoyed thoroughly. Lovely work out on that left flank, but a lot to be done with the finish as well here.
The cross was very delightful and the finishing was exquisite. Just nicking in front of the defenders, not expecting the wee man. I mean, look at that, diminutive man just sneaking in and making sure that he puts the ball in the back of the net. That's the pair.
Parai Banda getting the assist, but a smashing strike from Tapera. One of the goals of the tournament so far in those that we have witnessed. He's done well, Joja, in this match. He's even though they've struggled to get the forward movement or the forward pass, always look to force the issue and make things happen. As the captain, skillful, strong, good footwork here and protecting the ball as well. Karim. No. Played it into no man's land really between the 2 targets out on that far side. Here's a man that's also had a very good second half here, combined well with Panda on the left side to cause problems for this Comoros team. Time a factor now and the 13 remaining on the clock. Comoros by no stretch of the imagination out of this. So Zamir it is. Shot is far wide of the mark. So Meke will make way. He's run his race here today and certainly contributed to the cause for Zimbabwe. Dowsy will come on in his place. Getting the applause from the supporters out on that far side is Meke as he makes his way around the venue, exiting right in front of the Zimbabwean supporters who are showing him their love. Tonight doing well. Now that back pass will ask a lot of Azimata, and in the end he's used his hand to avoid the corner, and it's spotted by the officials here. Free kick it is to Zimbabwe. He was always in trouble, especially after that bounce. The pace of it and the placement of the pass gave him so much work to do to try and get his body behind it.
When you're under pressure like that, use your left foot, play it out, than putting your keeper in trouble like it was. Just keep it simple.
Even he himself could have just allowed it to hit his body guard for the corner. Better set piece to concede than the one they are now. Chance for Zim to grab goal number 2. Celso Alvacao, the Mozambican referee, has been spot on with his calls once again here this afternoon. Now, the block out for the corner, a little predictable.
Not a good set piece at all. Too tight, too obvious, and not productive.
Another corner it will be. Going into the last 10. Time running out for Comoros here to try and rescue something out of this match here. Hands full in trying to deny Zimbabwe the 2-goal cushion for the time being.
When you're leading and the opposition just keeps knocking the ball out for corner and other things and fouls, you're comfortable.
Yep.
So Zimbabwe must be comfortable, and they're in the right half. When they're leading, they're in the right half.
Yep.
You don't want to be defending.
Chance now for Comoros to try and switch the tide here and get some forward movements. Halsane. Karim. Now, they are growing in volume. Out to that far side, the Zimbabwean supporters, they are having a proper party. It will go on into the night if things stay this way. Hoping they stay on and watch the match coming up next between Zambia and Kenya. Heavyweights in this group. Southern African heavyweights well and truly in this group. Yellow card here shown to Zamir. Plays his football with the Vulcan Club. Yeah, the backdrop of supporters. Loving this.
They're singing their lungs out and happy that their Zimbabwe is leading.
Not just that, happy at the chance to be able to get behind their countrymen, behind enemy lines, so to speak, within another country's borders, but also happy to have them return to the international stage and the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. I think better than a winning return in the drought that's been seeing out the threat that is Comoros here. Time remaining on the board, under 7 minutes, including the time added on at the end of 90. Work far from done for Zimbabwe. So, forward come the Comoros here. Important initial block in to deny Afane. Looking to stretch that defense with the ball out wide to the far side. Good work to keep it alive. Now they've got numbers over that halfway line, but still are wasteful with the ball. What's your thoughts here, Marks, before you make your way down to the field?
Yeah, it's just been a different second half. Zimbabwe dominant, winning everything. First on the ball, second on everything. Meaning just on moments where they even have to play across, they just get there. And what is very interesting is they got comfortable. They started attacking through the wings, in particular the left wing, and Comoros couldn't give any answers. But if you ask me, will it end this way? Looks like Zimbabwe would not let go now.
And the 6 remaining. Yes, if you're wondering, that is Bota in the middle of your picture in the South African colors with the white hats. Said he'd taken a break from traveling around stadiums in the country in recent months after I had a chat with him yesterday, saying he is back now. This his pre-season, so to speak, in inverted commas, before he runs all over the country for the months to come in the upcoming season. So, man down here, and play held up for the struggling Karim on the edge of his own area. 1 of 2 to play the club football in France here. Awkward landing. Under 5 now for Zimbabwe to see out the win and pick up an important 3 points. Joja, strong, able to hold off the challenge from the defender. That's a good break here for Comoros as they try forward, but in the end, Zim are able to deal with the danger. BT drops onto it to eat away at a few precious seconds. Well, it is desperate times now for the Comoros. Make no mistake about it, they did come out here to compete and will look to put up the fight right up until the very end of this match. Joining us late, better moments in the first half in the way of penetration. Second half very much has belonged to the Zimbabweans, and that's been the theme of the 2024 Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup so far. If you missed the Group A matches yesterday, where in the opener between Eswatini and Botswana, Eswatini with a lovely first half and dominant and a good 4 or 5 chances where they hit the frame of the goal, but in the end it ended with a draw. South Africa later on against Mozambique, South Africa dominate first half, hit the frame of the goal, lead by 1 at the end of the first half. And it's Mozambique that come out better at the start of the second half in level matches. It ends with a 1-1 scoreline. Likewise here, whilst the better moments belong to Comoros in the first, it's certainly been a Zimbabwe in second half. Looking for a strong ending to the match now, Comoros. Nice work in the middle of the park here and winning it back. Nicely done by Mututsa. Hassan. Omar. Karim. Tarek. Omar. Nothing going for Toja on the edge of the box then, as Zimbabwe remain responsible on the defensive end of play now into the last minutes of 90. Benhuda, or rather, beg your pardon, it is Nasruddin on the far side, looking for a bit of joy. The throw in, and one there to try and turn the tide here and end this match, trying to keep Zimbabwe pinned back here by Comoros. Now, they'll get numbers into the box for Zamir's throw in. Keep a thought about coming, had to change his mind midway there. All hands on deck defensively here for Zimbabwe. Can Comoros give us a bit of drama and deny us a first win over the tournament? All been draws so far. Karim. Zimbabwe now struggling to put a foot on the ball here. Nicely done by outside and finding the option out wide on the far side. Good work defending out on that left back position from the Zimbabweans. Now with a chance to push up field here. And they are careless with the ball here and will be pinned back once again. Karim. Hilau. Well read. The good work in the defense here for the Zimbabweans. Just about 2 minutes remaining on the clock now. Time quickly running out here for Comoros to make something happen. Can Zimbabwe hit on the counter attack here and put this game to bed? Nicely done in holding it up here. And a chance for Zimbabwe to get it over that halfway line in a hurry to try and get it in behind that defense. Comoros winning it back quickly and trying to drive forward as quickly as they can, then through Omar. Tota. last minute of the 4 added on to the match. And one that has been a long time coming for the Zimbabweans. Looks to just about be assured here. 2-1 loss to Senegal, 2-0 loss to Namibia, 2-2 draw to Malawi, 0-0 draw to Mozambique, 2-2 against Lesotho. Zamapua will come on here for Benhura. Then another 0-0 score against the Zambians in the semi-final in 2019. Have to go back to the Comoros back in 2019 for the last win for the Zambians in regulation time. There you have it. Oh, Zimbabwe is back and back to winning ways in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. A game of 2 halves. Comoros with the penetration, but no goals in the first half. Zimbabwe with the dominance, true dominance in the second half, including a special goal from Dabera to the business in front of a vibrant crowd very much behind them. Good return up ahead in what is a tough start to the tournament here for the Zimbabweans. Zambia lying wait next. Kenya, the invitational team, still lying wait. They've certainly done the business and impressed with that second 45 minutes. Made a bit of a statement in doing so as well. Comoros weren't bad. They weren't bad at all. They really did compete, having come out here looking for the win themselves. They'll think back to the first half and the moments they created then and wonder what could have been. That is the Zimbabwean flag that flies high here to the end of 90 minutes at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. It's they that win the first match of the 2024 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup, beating Comoros with a 1-0 scoreline. Numbers telling. What a second half from Zimbabwe. Goal attempts, shots on target, they dominated. When you look at the ball possession as well, they really did dominate and made life difficult, especially in that second half for Comoros, who struggled to find any rhythm whatsoever, barring the latter stages of the match, the dying minutes of the match for Comoros. It was a Zimbabwe that looked like the Zimbabwe of old when it comes to the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup, that operated in that second half, having made the necessary tactical adjustments to get things going their way. The support was great for them. The numbers were good out to that far side for those that came out. Zimbabwe start off on a positive note.
Patrick Mayo is here with us and handing out the Man of the Match award. Patrick, the pleasure to God knows. Please give him what he deserves. Man of the Match.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Patrick. Mr. Murwarira scoring the goals.
Yeah.
And just share with us the game. Very hectic in the first half. Second half, you seem to have been in charge.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to just thank Almighty for the opportunity to be here. And secondly, when we went back to the changing room, the coach told us that we should just adjust to not rush to make decisions, and we should just play our own style so that we encounter them on when they come, we hit them on counter. And we managed to do that, and they were sitting back, and we managed to play our own game.
And when you say playing your own game, from where I was seated, you seem to were playing in front of them all the time. And they didn't bother in the first half until second half when you started playing through the wings.
Yeah, sure. You know, we today, as a country, or as our playing style, we come with a style. Then if we see that they are adjusting to our style, we change and we use the wings, and they couldn't mark the wing play.
Well done, and congratulations. Your fans are very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well done, God knows. And joining me is the coach for Comoros. And is obviously not pleased with the results, but first half you looked a better side, playing a cross on the right hand side, could have been in the back of the net, and that wasn't to be in the second half.
Donc forcément vous êtes un peu déçus aujourd'hui, pourtant vous avez réalisé une première mi-temps excellente, avec plusieurs occasions. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé entre temps?
Ce qui s'est passé, on a pris un but d'inattention, mais après, bon, comment ça s'appelle? Zimbabwe, c'est une grande équipe, Comoros c'est une petite équipe. Vous avez vu l'arbitrage, comment ça s'est passé. Et là, il a beaucoup avantagé le Zimbabwe que les Comoros. Il y a eu un coup franc indirect et un autre coup franc du gardien qui a fait, comment ça s'appelle, qui a plongé. Et après, bon, il y a des choses qu'on ne peut pas faire, mais bon, c'est comme ça. On a l'habitude. On va se concentrer sur le deuxième match. Merci.
Okay, so Comoros is a small team and Zimbabwe is a big team. That's why I think they got the favor of referee. I think that the referee omit many faults and it caused us many. We were disadvantaged in this game, and I think that even the goalkeeper he employed a lot of tactics to gain time. So I think that we are not satisfied, obviously, but we will not abandon. We will continue for the second match.
All not lost, and you still can win the remaining games.
Donc tout n'est pas perdu, vous pouvez encore remporter plusieurs matchs.
Oui, on peut rapporter, mais bon, il faut que les arbitres soient équitables. Si c'est pour avantager les autres, je ne sais pas comment on va rapporter les matchs.
Okay. So yes, of course we can win a lot of matches, but the referee must be fair. If he acts like today, obviously we won't win any match again.
Unlucky, coach, as you make your way
Thank
out.
You very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much, coach. And I'll be joined by coach of Zimbabwe, Tapera. Coach, if you may, if you do the honors, thank you, coach. And looking at the game itself, I'm talking about two halves. First half, you were playing in front of them and you were not hurting them. And second half, you changed things.
Yes, I think it was a very good afternoon for us. I think the opposition gave us opportunity to change things. I think they also gave us a lot of respect. But overall, I think in terms of talent, we were better. We were so much better. We were so much organized from the first whistle out to the end of it. The first half, we were probably moving around. Our defense was moving around very well. The ball was moving around very well. But when we went into the break, we realized that these guys, they wanted to mark. And we gave them some wingers to mark them, and it worked for us. We played and tried and go through the wings, and it worked for us. We got the one goal.
The plan of now attacking them through the wings, did that work for you? Not wings, but one wing, because the right-hand side wasn't really working like the left side.
Eventually, you saw we had to substitute him, but that other wing that was not working is the other wing that gave us a goal. So I think it was a combination of that wing working very well and that other wing not working but giving us a goal.
Looking at the tournament now, good start. Face your chances?
No, not really. We'll rather take
one at a time.
Each game as it comes. Like I said earlier on, we are in a path of rebuilding everything. We can't smile very much now after this win. We need to now go back again, do a lot of talking, because there's no time to train, do a lot of talking and see how it comes in the next game.
The next game you're talking about, Zambia, Kenya, big one. Are you sitting around to watch that one?
They should also watch us. We are here to compete. Everybody's here to compete, and we are not afraid of anyone. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. This is a game of football.
Coach, well done today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure.